Well, Ashley McBryde, welcome to Whiskey Riff Raff. We're so excited to talk to you. This all kind of fell together perfectly, and I feel like very honored to talk to you. You know, sometimes we have someone from like the new artists to 90s legends, and you're someone whose shows I've cried at before.
Oh, thank you. And I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. I enjoyed it. But yeah, we just are excited to talk to you and chat kind of about everything. We don't have necessarily one thing or a bunch of brand new music to discuss. We just want to chat about everything. So what's going on with you right now?
We are working on a new record, and we're using a different pace and a different style of recording than we've experienced in the past. So that has been, I would use challenging as the word. It sometimes feels like we all came to the sandbox with our toys and we're mad because it's a different sandbox. We're like, we knew this was gonna, we wanted a change, right? We were ready to play in a different kind of sandbox. And we're like, I'm just taking my shovel and going home. But the result has been amazing. So I'm not used to tracking vocals while not playing my guitar. Never happens. It doesn't happen at home. So getting used to doing a couple of things like that. Also, I'm not used to playing guitar when I'm not singing. Turns out I play guitar a little different when I'm not singing.
Really?
And I feel like a goober. And so just getting used to a couple of things. But putting this together with the guys, the way we started it was the way we like to start most of our records. We used to go to the Purple Building in East Nashville. And now we've chosen to go back to my garage. You are responsible for your microphone and your amplification and your instrument. And we will bring it all in and we will plug it all in and we will play dynamically in the room to the mix the way we know how to do. And we're going to take songs that we listened to on the iPhone from the day I wrote them. And then we're going to work them out to the best of our ability. And then we take it to the producer. And of course, then the producer comes in and goes, "Salakadoola bitchikaboola bibbidi boppity boo," and makes all the magic sauce happen. And sometimes what we've done already in the garage is exactly what goes down. And sometimes it's not.
So you're back to garage band roots, it
back
sounds like.
to garage band, because it's not that we've ever moved very far away from it, but I think we've removed ourselves from remembering that that's what we are.
Yeah.
Because the way shows have to be and the way production has to be and how certain things have to be programmed for, like lights or whatever. And I love that. And I love the precision of that. But I also might just want to sing a Paula Abdul song in the middle of this song. So that gives us the opportunity to stay in touch with that.
And I think when you've put out a concept record, now people don't really know what to expect from new music from you.
Yeah.
It could be another concept record. It could be something like you've done before or something completely new. So what is this one's direction?
I understand. And try working Brenda Put Your Bra On into any concert you've ever been to.
Yeah.
Or Bonfire at Tina's or Gospel Night at the Strip Club. That's a good one to try to work in. This one, there were some songs that I would say I would use the term discouraged.
Okay.
Early in my career. So first record, when I'm like, I want to do this. And I was told, maybe don't do that. So that's what this record feels like. It's the these songs that I had a hard time finding a place, a home on other records. And I'm like, now can we fit this song in a record? It just doesn't go here either. And that's because it needed to build its own home. Rattlesnake Preacher builds its own home. Because we have that. We have Water in the River, songs that have been in our live show that weren't, I don't want to say we weren't allowed. That sounds like somebody controls us. But we were discouraged from putting on records, but they never left the live show. And when we would give them a break from the live show, boy, would we hear about it.
Right.
And mostly Dana hears about it. Y'all know Dana. If there's a song not in the live show, everyone screams at Dana about it as though she has the ability to change the set list. So I thought maybe we start there and we build from there. So it's not all songs from our live show that have never, because there's only a few of those. But things that are that flavored. So if you were going to a potluck and rattlesnake was the first dish we served, everything's going to go along with that meal.
And I love Rattlesnake Preacher.
Yeah.
There's a couple of songs of yours I work out to, like almost every time I work out. It's that now, Voodoo Doll and Martha Divine.
Awesome. Thank you.
Those ones are just like upbeat and I love it. But on our drive here, we were talking about how even your big radio songs, you know, they might, like all radio songs are kind of catchy, but yours definitely have more emotion, more passion behind them than just just being catchy. So I'm excited to hear what all those other songs come to be.
Well, and with Rattlesnake Preacher already out, I was reading, for people that are listening that don't know the story behind why you went ahead and, you know, put that one out. That one's close. That one has a close to your heart type of reason for being already out, correct?
Definitely. It was written by Randall Clay, who was one of my longtime co-writers. We're talking Tired of Being Happy, American Scandal, El Dorado. And I joke now to try to keep things lighthearted where I say, the guy's such a gifted songwriter. He's been gone for 4 or 5 years and he still gets cuts on my records. And like I said, I've been playing Rattlesnake Preacher since I met Randall Clay at the Rusty Nail. And it was in my bar show before I was able to play full band shows. And I think putting that out now is the right thing to do. We captured it the right way with John Osborne. And I think Randall would be really proud of it. I stuck Jesus Loves Me at the end of it. I think he would have been down with that. And I just recently heard from a cousin of his through a friend that said, hey, I was friends with, they called him Little Randy. I'm his cousin, and we thought he was just running his mouth all these years. He would come home and tell us these stories about all of his songwriter friends and all this cool stuff, and we just thought he was full of it. And then that cousin came to one of my shows and said, oh my God, he was telling the truth.
The whole time.
So I think he needs to be represented. I think we got to keep those songs running around. When I first heard Rattlesnake Preacher, I was like, yeah, I want to punch something.
Yeah. I love songs that like just make you feel something like that.
Yeah, and Water in the River is the same way. That's a Randall Clay, Blue Foley, Roger Hodges write. So that goes on the record.
And your shows, you've obviously have your own tour, but you've been on the road a lot with Cody Johnson this year, correct?
Yes.
How has that been?
It's wonderful. Wonderful. And it's one of the reasons that Rattlesnake became the top of the show.
Okay.
When you're with Cody Johnson and you're playing to Cody Johnson fans, we know that they're fans of songs. And by songs, I mean songs that have some meat on the bone. We know that they are fans of the great state of Texas. And we know that they're here to see Cody, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's okay, and that's how they should be, because that's the ticket they purchased. So we needed to adjust, instead of being like, well, you don't want to be a support act that's like, well, they should know my songs. What if they don't? What if they've never, what if this is their first time? How do I want them to meet me? How do I want them to meet these guys? Rattlesnake Preacher. Brenda, put your bra on. And we'll put the hits in there too, but we want to give you permission to laugh. We want to give you permission to feel that kind of unnamed aggression that you feel, which is kind of a happy aggression that you feel during Rattlesnake Preacher.
And those videos have gone viral of you with the giant bra on.
Bernice.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did that come to be?
Before Lindyville was even part of our live show, people had started throwing bras at shows. And I think that started at 8 Second Saloon in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And people would go to like thrift stores, buy undergarments and throw them. We thought it was hilarious because it's such an old school way to show thanks. Then Lindyville happens and people throw so many bras that at this point we have to find ways to donate, repurpose. Very hard to repurpose a bra for other than what it's for. And we were in Ireland. And the bras are flying, and some people write cool messages in them. Some people draw the flag of Texas, or they make it a dinosaur. And this amazing giant red bra falls on the stage. And I picked it up, and it's like a 44 Triple H or something. I thought Triple H was a wrestler. But that's the size it is. And I put it on and was like, this is fantastic. Because when you're playing these humongous theaters, if I put on one of my bras over my shirt, that's going to look kind of stupid. It's not going to come off as a shtick and as a gag. But if I put on a humongous red one, now the people at the very back dancing by themselves in the 62nd row can see that she put a bra on. And I saw a headline not too long ago, like a little blurb that said, "The red bra is too cringe and country music should stay out of the cringe business."
Interesting.
Do you remember Hee Haw?
Yeah. Yes.
It was kind of built around cringe.
Yeah.
Right.
And my response to that, I didn't, of course, respond in any comment section, was if me wearing a giant red bra makes you so uncomfortable, if me giving permission for all of us to let loose and laugh at the comedy of this, if that makes you uncomfortable, I'm certain they make a bigger bra.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
a
they
great,
do.
that's
And
a
I
great
will
way.
find it.
Yes. I love that.
Great way to respond to that for sure.
I feel like so many women artists, especially at first, are so just like they want everything to be perfect, and you are more leaning into like your sense of humor. Where does that sense of humor come from?
I'm really lucky that my mom's father was hilarious, and he had COPD and emphysema, only one lung for all purposes that matter. Like, he really had a hard time. He said he felt like it's breathing through a straw all the time. With every breath the man took, it was something funny. One time he brought a harmonica. He had a harmonica in his room, and he said, "Come in here. I'm going to play you a song on the harmonica." I said, "Okay." And he went, "That's all I got."
Yeah.
What a fantastic way to deal with being short of breath
Yeah.
that day. And I think my mom's sisters, my mom's family were all really, really funny. And I strived to keep a sense of humor. I've been the youngest of 6 children. You're always getting shit on in some way.
Oh yeah.
You know, so if you can find a way to laugh about it. And I don't know, maybe we could pretend it's religious. We can pretend it's one of the Beatitudes in Matthew 5. Blessed are those that laugh at themselves, for they shall never cease to be amused.
So it's a little bit of
going
everything.
to church
Right?
now, yeah.
I'm like, look it up. You won't. It's not in there.
I would totally believe you.
I would have believed it. I would have believed it.
I was like, your dad's a preacher. Was a preacher.
That's
I
right.
believe you. I don't know
Yeah.
that one, but okay.
Well, that's I was gonna ask you about that because like you do have such a great sense of humor, but I'm sure you grew up in a household where things were pretty, orderly, very strict, right?
Yeah, orderly is, you've seen Handmaid's Tale.
I have, yeah, actually.
It was a very, very strict, rigid household to grow up in. And I won't go into deconstruction or any of the things like that, but we know that it's a harmful way to live your life. And I think that's probably where humor became such a shield and such a badge of honor. And now to be able to be so charmingly irreverent with Rattlesnake Preacher, and so towing the line of irreverency and blasphemy with Water in the River. That way, anyone else who feels that way knows, yeah, we see each other, dude. It's good. It's all good.
Does your family have strong opinions with your career now, or are they kind of over it now that you've done music for so long?
I think we're all over it,
Yeah.
over each other.
Okay.
Mom, totally on board.
Yeah.
And my father chooses not to engage much in society.
Okay.
He lives very far away up on a hill and likes to keep things very strict and rigid and things, and that a belief system that works for him. And I love that for him. My sister Aubrey, my brother Dan, we keep up with each other. We laugh at each other. And then there are 2 other siblings that are still around that I don't think we've spoken to each other since I was like 17. So I think we're all over each other. At first there was I play in bars, I sing to heathens. I entertain heathens for a living. So that's, I guess, puts somebody's, I think it makes Jesus mad. I don't remember what the rule was, but yeah, I think we're all over it.
And I hate that is one of the things that is viewed as like what you're doing, because I think music is one of the most important things that anyone can do, because one, it allows for an escape. I think that's such a huge value to what people like you do as a living, is people can just escape into the music if they want to, whether they're just listening to a song or they actually go to a concert. I think that's super powerful. And 2, the relatability that songs can provide.
The whole point of us making music was at some point you heard a song that made you feel less alone, or you heard a song that made you feel understood or seen. And that births other people whose goal is to make songs that make other people have that same feeling. And I'm with you. I think no matter what situation it's in, that music is healing. We talk about it as a band and crew, that for 90 minutes, whatever is outside of those doors and these doors, we are free from it. Mm-hmm. We provide that freedom to you for 90 minutes, and in return, you gift us the same freedom. Mm-hmm. I think it's a really, it would border on a sacred transaction.
Yeah.
And music is healing. Our ancestors knew that stories were medicine, and that's all we are. We're just the storytellers.
What's so funny is actually I was in church this past Sunday, and they kept talking about, how all these new studies about music therapy have been so popular, and they're like, the Bible said it forever ago, like it's been said with our ancestors forever. So it's like, it's not anything new. It's just we're paying attention to it more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're choosing to be more aware of it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know. I
like creating a space where people feel good.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. What's wrong with that? Like, we have a pretty diverse audience, and I love that.
Yeah.
And watching children sing Brenda Put Your Bra On is hilarious to me.
It's so funny. Yeah, no, those videos get me every time. I'm like, where your mind even went with that one. Now,
especially
now
the words that they come up with that aren't the curse words in the song, that they think that those words are hilarious. A friend of mine texted me the other day and said her little girl was singing, "My daddy is a rattlesnake creature."
Yeah.
I love that.
That is adorable.
Be a rattlesnake creature.
And what I find even more interesting is, like, two people can grow up in the exact same household, and how one, it like leads them further into that path, and one rebels. And like, what's the difference? How that happens, I don't know, when it's like the exact same upbringing.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that your upbringing gifted us you and your music. I mentioned I cried at, it was a Pilgrimage Fest a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You played Leave the Light On in the Kitchen.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd ever heard that song. And I was like, oh, this one got me. It got me good.
I'm glad that got you. I'm glad that
do you
got you.
see that pretty often at shows of people like crying?
What
crying.
gets me is when a father and son, or father and daughter, or mother and son, or mother and daughter, when they choose to put their arms around each other for the whole song. Or they sing. I've seen moms sing it, even, and this is like adult teenage child, and she's singing it into the back of her head, and I'm like, yes, that's what this is for.
Yeah.
That's what this is for. Thank you.
How do you even make it through the rest of the song when you see things like that?
When I start to bust up and cry, we've all seen me cry. I'm so good at it. I think of things that are orange.
Things that are orange.
Yeah, basketball. Usually I just stop at basketball.
That'll stop.
Or I can think of like a basket. Because I'll go, oh, orange basketball. Basket full of, I don't know.
Just a
oranges.
distraction technique.
Yeah, something that I don't have any attachment to. Mm-hmm. And I've never been an athlete because I've always been a musician. So if I can think of a soccer ball, a basketball, it completely wipes out any emotion.
Interesting.
I cry a lot, so I'm going to have to use that technique moving forward.
Yeah, and also if you're upset and you have the time, if you're not singing, you can think of something physical, anything physical, something factual, and something beautiful. And that usually helps me too. It just kind of stops. My therapist was telling me this week that emotions last 90 seconds. They have a measurable beginning, middle, and end. And as a very emotional person who, if I could get paid to flip my lid, I would have so much money, because I have 0 and I have 100. I'm Hulk when it comes to things. And now that I just this week have realized that if I just put my hand on my chest for 90 seconds, I've got a really good handle on this. If I can just not pounce on you for 90 seconds.
I love that. You shared a story earlier about one of your songwriter friends, and you are constantly writing songs, but where did that creativity process come? Did it happen at a younger age, or is it kind of a moving to Nashville type of?
Really young. I
Really
made
young?
stuff up. No, I joke about it, but nobody would play with me when I was a kid. So I gave inanimate objects names and was always making up stories and songs. I would set dolls and teddy bears out and put like the little super flimsy full length mirror against the wall and like sing a song for myself and them. 12, I think, was when I wrote my first like full length song. It's called Fight the Flames.
You still have it?
I do.
Oh, I love that.
And it's terrible. But it was about, I think the hook is is if you're the fire, I'll have to fight the flames. And it's about some awful love story that I had no reference
Sounds
for.
pretty profound, though, for 12 years
Thanks
old.
to country music and being raised on bluegrass and country, I knew form and structure. I knew how rhymes worked. And I had the information on torrid love affairs. Even though I didn't have the understanding.
Got it. And you grew up on country, and the two, I guess, covers or tributes that come to mind are the Straight Tequila Night tribute for the John Anderson, which was one of my favorites, and then also the Brooks and Dunn, the reboot album that you did.
I loved the reboot album.
So good. Both of those, I think your voice stood out more than the other artists on those specific ones. I don't know what it is. It's the songs were already great, but I think your voice just added to it so much. How does it feel now, being in your career, being able to pay tribute to John Anderson and Brooks and Dunn and people you probably grew up listening to?
It's always wild to get the call.
Yeah.
But they're like, hey, they're doing a thing for Toby Keith. Hey, they're doing a thing for Chris Christopherson. And they want you to be part of it. And you're like, me? Yeah, okay. I mean, I know all the songs. So, yeah. And the John Anderson record was cool. Dan Auerbach produced that, and John Osborne was the band leader. And that's what kind of kicked off me looking at John Osborne going, you and I are going to create something really magical, and I don't know what it is yet. And I love being able to trace it back to the day that we cut Straight Tequila Night. And I love that song.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that riff, the way he chose never to resolve that until the end of the song, he just left it at I was just like, the band nerd in me I was just like, that is so fantastic.
Is that probably one of the coolest things you've done, or what has been the coolest thing of your career that you've been able to do so far?
Wow. I think being called in, being somebody that people call when they want somebody to come sing on something, like Ray Wiley Hubbard. Hey, do you want to come sing on this? Shenandoah, we want you on one of our songs. Brooks and Dunn. I love being one of those names. I love that the reputation, the precedent that has been set is she will be on time, she will know her shit, and she will leave on time. Because mama trying to get home, take a nap. I love doing it so much, and I'm such a student of it and a giant nerd about it. I love being one of those names. I think I will be able to say in September that the coolest thing I have ever done is play at Royal Albert Hall for the purpose of the one and only broadcast of the Grand Ole Opry from London, England. That is a humongous sentence. I think it's going to be one of the coolest.
Yeah, that only people that day can say.
Yeah, and like the next time that happens 100 years from now, none of us are going to be there for that show. This is a once in a lifetime moment.
Yeah.
Any other like cool things about that whole show that's being planned that you can reveal? Or
I wish I had information to reveal. They've told me that
You just
British
know that
icons will be involved.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I can only name a handful. Like, off the top of your head, you're like, okay, Adele and Elton John and what, Paul McCartney? Like,
Sir
there's
Paul
no
McCartney.
telling what they have up their sleeve. And I'm so proud that it's Luke and Carly and Darius. Like, for us to be chosen to go and represent this is a cross section of country music, and this is how we choose to celebrate it. That's just a humongous deal to me.
And it wasn't even until really looking at your catalog that I noticed how many collaborations that you really do have.
Oh yeah,
so many. I literally wrote down queen of collaborations. Like, well, you even had so many on your concept albums. Like every song had someone on it. And
yeah, and I think that was because not every song, when you're telling a story like Lindyville, then not every song needed to be my voice. It would be kind of annoying, I think, especially when you have access to T.J. Osborne.
Yeah.
Who can improve. He's like ranch dressing. It doesn't matter what you put it on, it's better now. And vocalists like Kaylee Hammock, who could sing, she can sing any style, anywhere. That high note she hits in Bonfire at Tina's, she was holding one of these mics in her hand, seated on the couch at John Osborne's house.
Wow.
I have videos of it in my phone.
That's awesome.
Right? And that's like when we do Bonfire at Tina's on stage, I always have to like psych myself up. You can do Kaylee's note. And she's just like, I just do it.
That's awesome. I feel like you're one of also the few artists who I think really talks about their music community and how much like everyone in music is really your family.
I think we should. I think we should make it a point to sharpen each other's blades. And it was Miranda that said to me first, because at the time it was me and Elle King out with Miranda, and it was also Kaylee, Tennille, Pistol Annie's. And that's a badass group of women.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, I want badass women around me because you make me better. And that reinforced in me that we should be doing that with each other. I want you to challenge me, and I want you to show up for me. And I want to challenge you, and I will show up for you. And I think it's important we talk about each other's strengths, and especially our songwriter companions. I've written almost every song we've ever recorded, and there have been a few outside cuts. And I remember when I moved to town, and I kept thinking, man, if some of these people just stop thinking that they need to write every song they sing and just listen to a couple of my songs, I know that they would cut them. I turned that around on me going into this record. There is somebody in this town since I moved here who's saying the same thing. And I'm doing him or her a disservice by not seeking them out and then saying their name to everybody who will sit still long enough to Google it.
Yeah, I think it was Dirk Bentley that we talked to that said something similar, where he felt like the least he can do is hear what songwriters have to say. And I think it's weird in today's age where it's like, oh, wow, they didn't write any of their own songs on their album. But there are so many people that are writing good songs that would be happy to have their song on an album of yours or an album of Dirk's. Like,
yeah, and think about when you heard Fishing in the Dark. That wasn't your story. It was your song.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And there are songs that are like that. And I've found some. I just discovered Lauren Hungate, the songwriter. And I heard 2 songs that said, I want to hear everything she's ever written. There are stories, like when we cut Shut Up Sheila, was written by Nicolette Hayford and Park Chisholm. Sheila doesn't live in my family. It's in Nicolette's family, but that was my song. Because if there was anybody who needed to say that, it was me and my family.
Yeah.
And I told her the first time she played it for me, I said, I'm going to cut that song. I don't know when, but I'm going to cut it.
And how are you finding all these different songwriters?
I went and did a pitch meeting with my publishers. And while we listened, I said, I don't want to know who wrote what. I don't want to know. But if I can guess it, I want you to tell me if I'm right. And especially if I was like, put a hold on that song. I need that song. And I was like, okay, now tell me who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we sat down and listened for a few hours one afternoon, and my mind is just blown. And I don't feel sad, but I'm glad I woke up to the fact that I'm doing all of our songwriting companions a disservice, because even though you might be the best person to tell your story right now today, there are people who are telling stories that are so good, it would be a crime not to listen to it and do everything you can to make sure it gets to the ears that it needs to get to. And I don't care if it's my voice doing it, and I don't care if it's your voice doing it. Those songs, they have to go out. In our song, Lucky Son of a Bitch, we may all be gone tomorrow. We can't let the songs go unheard, and I won't.
I love that. I think that also leans into, you never really know what to expect with your album. So
Yeah.
This one, definitely different, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what songs. It's like best song wins regardless.
Best song wins. Celebrity deathmatch.
Yes.
Get them all in a pit, and then whoever's still standing is our song.
And I also wanted to point out while we were talking to you that, maybe we were wrong in introducing you as Ashley McBryde. Maybe we should have called you Dr. McBryde, right?
You could.
Okay. Because
could.
for people that are listening, you have your doctorate from
Arkansas State.
Yes.
Yeah, I studied music education at Arkansas State, and I left my very last year in the program and moved here to get a degree in catching dreams.
Right.
Yes.
And I never lost my passion for music education. And I was unaware that my path would be so different, that creating more musicians is still my path. But I get to do it like this. And that's what I wanted to do. Like, I liked playing French horn. I'm not the world's best French horn player. So recently, Arkansas State gave me an honorary doctorate. It was really nice to be
That's so cool.
recognized. Because when you say doctorate, you are acknowledging a lifetime dedicated to the pursuit of excellence in a field. So we should probably be handing out more of those to some of our peers.
Fair.
But it is a lifetime dedicated. And I mean, unless they have to wheel me off of a stage, I won't ever not be on a stage.
Yeah. What was Nashville like when you first came here?
Moved here in November of 2005. There were places to park.
Yeah, for free, I'm sure.
Yeah, there were places to park.
Must have been nice.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
And I played at the Dan McGinnis that's out there by the Naked Statue. And I think that's a brewery now. And I lived at a storage unit apartment with my friend Jenny, who worked at the storage place. And I just started going to open mic nights and writers' nights and trying to find people. And I played in bars and stuff all around. But then that's when I got here to Nashville and found out they didn't pay anything to do that. Yeah. So I still had to like double down on my other gigs to make sure I could afford to come play at a Tuesday night here. The songwriting community was wonderful. I moved here to write with people like Lisa Carver, who I met pretty quickly after I moved here. I went to see her and Shelley Tackett play at the listening room, the old listening room. And she was very friendly. And I was like, oh my God, that's Lisa Carver. She wrote Wake Up Older. And she's just as nice as she can be. The songwriting community is fantastic.
And is your breakthrough story as simple as, you know, the typical story that's told is like Eric Church heard something and your life was forever changed? Or there's got to be more to...
Yeah, it's a lot more scars on knuckles than that.
Yeah.
But
if you look at it like... If you just type in Ashley McBryde breakthrough, it's like, it was really simple and everything happens
all
so
you have
quick.
to do is go to an Eric Church concert.
Yeah.
And building all of the relationships that led to going and being with Eric on that night is a long time coming. And it's not like I said, I'm going to move to town and I'm going to sing a song with Eric Church. But he did run across my songwriting, and it was actually Catherine that ran across my songwriting first. And the whole trail up to that, bars and upon bars, and waking up in people's basements, and
much like the one we're in now.
Yeah, what a rad basement. I think being just naive enough to think it was possible and not knowing any better when it was so hard, because I just thought that's just how it was. This is what I want to do, and this is how it is. That's like if you were a football player and you're in Pee Wee football and you get hit really hard, and your coach is going to tell you, you're going to get hit. And you go, well, do I want to play football or do I want to not get hit? So that's what I did. I didn't know how to run a PA system. I didn't care. I learned. And I made enough money to purchase a PA system. And I didn't have a good guitar. So I figured out how to make enough in tips to save up and buy a better guitar. And I thought that's how it worked. And back then, it was.
Not so much now.
Not the same landscape now.
No.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, what advice would you give, you know, those artists who are coming up now who it's completely different than what you went through?
I think it would be hard to give sound advice because it's always going to come from, we walked uphill both ways when I was your age.
Back in my day.
Right, which is annoying, and nobody's going to receive that. I would say, boy, does it change fast. So however you got here, just know that changes really quickly. And the next cat that's coming up, they're coming up different. Let's try not to, I don't want to mistake you for me, right? I don't want to expect me of you. Try not to do that to the next cat. Just knowing that your agility is going to be, the more things you can do to keep yourself agile as an entertainer, the more ease you're going to be able to feel. Like the other night we were in Oklahoma and it flooded. And when I say it flooded, I mean it flooded the stage. And our lights had inches of water in them. We couldn't do the show. And they were saying, you know, do you want to cancel the show? I'm like, absolutely not. Give me a guitar and put me in the pavilion. And they said, well, what if we have to cancel, like if we have to shut the park down? I said, then take me to the bowling alley. I've been asked to come and play, and that's what I'll be doing. We got it worked out where we could plug in 3 guitars and 3 microphones. So we did. And we did a 90-minute set, all acoustic, which some of those lead guitar parts, that Matt Helmkamp is playing on his Telecaster, very hard to play on a Gibson J55, the widest neck we've got, and we just have the guitars we have. So, my advice would be agile, because if your option is cancel or go to the bowling alley and play, be ready to go to the bowling alley and play, and keep that in your spirit. You're not here doing us a favor by playing a show. We're here for the exchange that happens when we play live music and hear live music. So whatever we have to do to complete that obligation, not the contractual obligation, let's complete the transaction.
And this might be kind of a touchy question, but like, is there any animosity felt towards the people who feel like they just like are in the industry overnight, like
Tons.
snap of the fingers?
Tons in every room in Nashville right now. When they're like, well, that Cracker Jack couldn't have and just popped on the scene. And I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Happy birthday, or maybe punch her in the mouth. I don't know what to tell you. That's just how it is. And I've had my moments with it too. And you have to grow enough to self-check and remember things like, this isn't a battle of the bands. And even if it was, any note you sing doesn't change a note I sing.
There's room for everyone.
And I know women that can sing circles around me. And I know some that can't. And we're all welcome here.
Yeah.
Because again, it's this transaction. We're all doing the same thing. I didn't feel that way when I was on the road in the bars. If I ran into you and you played the afternoon slot and I'm setting up to do the evening slot in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and you're a little more on the pop side and I'm a little more on the country side, you and I would look at each other and nod. Because I'm out here keeping the highway hot and you're out here keeping the highway hot. And that's how we pay our bills. And I love that about you.
Yeah, I love the ability that everyone can find the music that they want, that whatever is meant for them finds them, or they find it.
Well, and in the similar vein, like you have been outspoken about how great Post Malone is, right?
Yeah.
You were like, whoa, this is the craziest thing whenever you guys got to play together. And he's a person that, like, you know, obviously didn't go through the country music route, but all of a sudden it feels like he's one of those artists that just came into this genre and people wrap their arms around him.
Yeah. And the scars on his knuckles look different than mine.
Yeah.
And and maybe you're a theater kid. Maybe you got to country music and you started out in professional theater. The scars on your knuckles are different than mine. It doesn't mean you didn't fight.
Are there any new artists that you really love and are championing right now?
Oh, yeah. Let's see.
Like, where do I have you?
I know. I'm like, I need my phone to see what I've been downloading.
Listening to.
Ashlyn Craft
Okay. Yes.
is a home girl. And I know what her journey looks like. And I've been listening to Kelsey Walden a lot lately. And then finding people like that on Instagram going, why am I not following her? Every time I hear her on, like, say I'm listening to Outlaw or whatever, I'm like, every time I hear her, I always put the song in my library. How am I not following? So I'm spending a lot of time doing that right now. And I went through a period of time in my mid-20s where I wouldn't listen to the radio. I would only listen to music suggested to me by friends.
Okay.
And I have a couple of guys in my band I can really trust. Like, that's how I found, what's that guy's name? Medium Build.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Can you imagine living your whole life and never hearing that record? Where was I going to find that record?
Yeah, because the only way I found it was someone else put it on their Instagram story.
And I'm like, hey, who are you listening to right now? And he's like, Medium Build. Also, Melissa Carper. And I'm like, cool, I'll go listen. And then you're like, fantastic. I'm finding all this music that's going to make me a better songwriter. Things to sharpen the blade.
And I think, well, obviously you're getting to listen to music and it changes maybe the way that you attack music. For me, it's like if I hear a new artist, it's like I can't wait to tell other people about it, but I'm not necessarily doing anything with it. I'm just listening. I'm just a fan.
And that's the gift.
But there's so much power in it. Like just being able to, like, hey, like no better feeling than like you find a new band, like, hey, telling a friend, have you listened to this person? And they're like, no, I haven't heard them. And you're just like, oh boy, here we go. I get to name all these songs that you should check out. And I don't know why that's such a fun experience, but it is.
It's I think it's probably multi-layered why it's such a fun experience. Like the first time I told someone that hadn't heard Turnpike, so this is way back at the Diamonds and Gasoline record, and then they got to listen to that record for the first time. I love that. I can't go back and listen to that record for the first time, but I can watch you do it, and that's kind of cool.
And I wish I knew how like life-changing it would be the first time I listened to it. Like you just get surprised.
Right. Like one of the guys in my band when we were in New York said, do you want to go see Lion King? And I said, I do, but haven't you already seen it? And he said, yeah, I want to watch you see it. And same thing. He's like, I get to experience that. And there was one of my college professors. I'm probably going to get this wrong. Forgive me if I pronounce this wrong. There is a term, I would like to say it is Japanese in origin, and the term is giri. And he practiced judo. And he said in his practice, he found that giri was really important. And it is the notion that once you have knowledge, you acknowledge that the knowledge doesn't belong to you, and it is the obligation to pass it on. So maybe that's the feeling that we get when we're like, oh my God, have you heard medium build? You have whatever that is. You have that notion that this doesn't belong to me. I have to pass it on, which is probably why I'm a songwriter. If I have knowledge about something, I have to.
And I feel I have an advantage as I curate a lot of the Whiskey Riff playlists. So I get that opportunity like every day to, if I find something I love, I'm like, add it to that playlist, add it to that playlist, New Music Friday, add it there. And I'm like, I know people are actually listening to it, which is really cool feeling to hear.
Yeah, it's like, just, that's happening for people right now.
One completely off topic question I
love
have to ask you, because I know we have to wrap up soon.
Can't wait.
I feel like we just like blinked and time passed so fast. But we just celebrated the 4th of July.
Yes.
And your Apple Sessions with the Toby Keith cover just recently came out. They released, obviously you did your own Apple Sessions, but they released of like 5 to 6, artists covering Toby Keith songs as well.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of basically new artists and you.
The girl they call that shows up on time, that knows her shit, that leaves on time.
I was just amazed. I was like, how? Like, I love your cover and like it's awesome. I'm like, but these are all new artists. Like I was just like, how did that mix
I also
come
was
to
like
be?
looking at the I was like, are any of my peers? No, just me. That was a ton of fun. A ton of fun. And I love that it got to be my whole band, and we cut all live in the room together looking at each other. That's our favorite way to make music. I noticed that the comment section, which I try to stay out of, I noticed that people were just tearing that up. And they're like, why isn't it on Spotify? And I'm like, because it was
an Apple Session.
Apple Sessions? Like, I didn't think that was hard on that question. And people are like, only Toby can sing Toby songs. And I agree. Only Toby can sing Toby songs. But it is our honor to pay tribute to someone who deserves to have tribute paid to them. And I did, I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then on the TV show. So I didn't want to do it again. I wanted to choose something else. So I asked the band, I was like, what song should we do? And they were like, Little Less Talk. Fine with me.
Yeah. I was actually at the tribute show as well here at Bridgestone.
What a night.
Awesome.
That
So
was an
cool.
amazing night of music.
And today is Toby Keith's birthday, actually.
Happy birthday.
Today. I'm like, today we're recording. So it all just wound up that way. And then one other question I want to ask is about your sobriety. I'm sure.
Yes.
How do you feel like you're kind of one of the spokespeople in country music for sobriety at the moment?
And congratulations, by the way.
Thanks. And I refused to talk about it at all. I think it was the first, 500 days, 300 days, something like that.
That's a long time.
I wanted to make sure I didn't do one of those things where it's like, I'm never drinking again. And then you just do. Like, which is totally possible and super common.
Yes.
But for me, I wanted to make sure that I had my feet under me and I knew what I was, if I'm going to talk about it, I'd like to know what I'm talking about. I'd like to know some of these challenges before I go, and not drinking is great, because not drinking sucks. It sucks when other people are doing it and just you can't.
Yeah.
And it sucks when over 1,000 days into not drinking, your brain goes, you could probably, if you think about it, like 2 fingers of whiskey, you'd probably be fine. And you're like, I probably would be. I might get sick though. You can't even entertain this. What are you doing? So it's been an interesting journey. I'm happy that when other people meet challenges now, that I have enough ground under my feet that I can at least say, yep, day 68 sucked for me. Yep, day 1014 sucked for me. But even if all you do is don't drink for the next 30 seconds, do it 30 seconds at a time. Do it 2 seconds at a time. If that's what you have to do to stay alive. It could happen to anybody, doesn't happen to everybody, happened to me. And I had to make a choice to stay alive. And even when it gets tricky, I have to be like, well, you can. And so this, I don't know if my therapist is going to be happy I say this or not. I keep a bottle of whiskey in the house. And by the way, whiskey was not the bad guy. It was tequila. I keep a small bottle of whiskey inside my home.
Really?
That way, if I'm like, I could just drink, do it. Do it. Mm-hmm. You want to trade this for that.
Yeah.
Then do it.
Yeah. And you're stronger than most that,
I would not advise it. I would not advise it. That's not part of any program that anyone works. For me, I guess I just like to be a glutton for punishment in some way, but also being able to dare myself to screw it up. It does help keep me on a good path sometimes.
And I feel like that's kind of like a theme throughout like your career as well. It's like, tell me no.
Right.
Tell me no.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll prove you wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also tell myself, literally, I stopped drinking. I became a member of the Grand Ole Opry and I won my first Grammy. Are you willing to trade either of those things for what is in this glass? Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah.
As for me and my house, we will serve the song. We will not be serving the whiskey today.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
And I love that you're open and sharing your story. And again, congratulations, because I know that's a huge milestone. And I also love that you've mentioned therapy a couple times in our conversation today.
Oh my gosh, we should all have therapists.
I'm a big proponent for therapy. My wife is a therapist.
She's doing God's work,
she
literally.
Is. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she is. But like that's been I'm sure a huge part of your life, going to therapy. Yeah,
because I don't work a program. I don't work an alcohol program. So I think without therapy would be much, much harder to maintain sobriety. And my therapy is not mostly centered around sobriety, but we do check in on it. And I think knowing that I have that I think it makes it maybe just a little more peace of mind.
Because there's a stigma around that too. Like,
there is.
If I go to a therapist, like that's,
people
are going to think there's something wrong.
And it's like, oh, you're so dumb. You don't even know you need help.
Yeah. And luckily, I think that stigma finally is
starting to dissolve.
Yeah. I don't know if our lifetime it'll be completely away, but hopefully eventually.
And I'm sure there will always be people that like, I don't need to tell my problems. Like, and that's fine. That's fine for you. I have a therapist I go to. I have a couples therapist I go to. I took people in my band to see a therapist recently to work on communication.
Yeah.
I think it's a superpower, and to know more about yourself, like for me to know that an emotion can only live for 90 seconds, that's going to keep me out of fights. It's going to keep me out of being upset, not necessarily making someone else upset. I'm only responsible for these ones. And because of therapy, I have the tools to live. It's not living problem free. It's how to live with problems a little more peacefully.
And the way you communicate, I feel like you can tell you go to therapy, because only someone who knows that much about themselves is able to communicate and articulate exactly what they mean and think that way.
Yeah. And sometimes we get therapy mouthed. I know we do. And I know that can be annoying, but it's also super helpful if you were angry right now and I were to say, but hang on, is this a small, medium, or large size problem? Because the reaction I'm seeing is a large size reaction. And I want to make sure that that's what we want to do. It sounds like I'm speaking to a preschooler, but it's had to be said to me.
Yeah. I'm like, I would appreciate it if that was said to me.
When I can remember to stop and reparent whatever is going wrong right now, you didn't even hurt my feelings. You didn't do that. It's just, I just need to be like, it's fine.
It's fine.
Got it.
90
it's
seconds.
Fine. It's like, just thank you, little me. Thank you. I want you to know that we grow up and our dog is the coolest. We have the best dog. So just calm down.
Well, we started this talking about new music, and I want to end it kind of talking about new music.
Yes.
When should we expect the new album?
I am going to go in tomorrow and listen to the mixes we have so far.
Okay.
I like to put 11 songs on a record. Like I said, this is a different pace. Normally we would pick out 15, 20 songs, go in, cut everything over 3 or 4 days, and now we've got a record somewhere in here. This time we're going, this group. Maybe I write one tomorrow. All right, that goes in that group. I'm going to go listen to mixes tomorrow, and then we get back in the studio with John Osborne July 15th.
Okay.
Yeah.
How exciting.
It's so exciting.
In the studio, not the garage.
In the studio, not the garage.
Okay.
And why is it usually 11 songs for you?
I like the number 11. And I don't really know why. 10 seems short, but also 10 seems really like too digestible to me right now. But I like it to be 11. So even if I have to put a song about styrofoam on there, I will make sure that there are 11 songs. And I don't even know what the definition of a record is. I don't know what the definition of an EP is or an LP is.
I don't know if they're actually, obviously there's a definition, but I don't know if a number is, definitely defining
I think if we were to get through the studio time next week and it's 10 tracks and we've told the story I wanted to tell, then we're done.
Any chance more than 11?
That is something that's been really interesting to me in a time where more than 20 tracks are going on a record. It's been really interesting to digest the different ways we all perceive it and the ways we take it in. When I was about 12 years old, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness came out. Smashing Pumpkins record, double record. I've never listened to the entire thing all the way through.
And it doesn't matter how much you love it. It's just...
I don't need 3 hours.
Yeah.
Anything more than probably, I would say 14, 15 songs. I can't.
And I'm getting information via email that is like advice that is like, look, if you're not doing 20 plus tracks, you're doing a disservice. You're not putting enough to keep your audience fed all the way until the next record. And for me, if I were a baby bird and you just keep shoving stuff, then I don't want you to come back and visit me, because every time you do, it's too much. It's like that friend at the party that gets their guitar out too early and they sing the whole time.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear.
No one wants to hear Wonderwall again.
Sir, please put it away.
Yeah. I think shorter albums more consistently are just more digestible.
Digestible.
For me, it works.
And to have that band, I only have a certain amount of bandwidth because I want to listen to other artists too.
Right. To me, it's like, I want to listen to 45 minutes of this record or an hour of this record. I also want to listen to an hour of Kelsey Walden. I also want to go listen to an hour of Tyler Childers. Like, I need to be able to do that.
There's so much music, and it's at our fingertips now with the streaming. Like, obviously, it used to be a little bit harder. Like, you'd buy an entire album, you're going to listen to the entire album. Now it's like, man, I mean, any music that's ever existed, I could pull out my phone and listen to it. It's almost overwhelming, but that's why 11 songs would be perfect.
Thank
on the
you.
new album. Yeah.
Thank you. Maybe I'll do 12 just for good measure. And I'm like, I stuck it to myself, I guess.
Well, thank you so much. Again, I feel like we blinked and
I know.
already
I feel like
over.
it was so fast.
A lot of fun.
But it's so great talking to you. Thank you for being here. And
it's so great to be in this historic space with you and get to sit and just chat when we're not, say, like backstage at a show where we know we only have 15 minutes and 5 of that is us telling each other we only have 15.
Yep.
Yes.
So thanks for taking time to chit chat.
Yeah, thank you. And
Thank
we're
you.
looking forward to new music
Definitely.
and to see what happens with this new tour, new album, new everything.
I'll see if I can sneak you some mixes.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds
I'd
good.
love that.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.